Welcome back to the Maelstrom, ladies and gentlemen. We have another Warhammer 40K battle report for you today. We're doing 2,000 points. I'm going to be taking over Josh's Black Templars, just taking his list and running with it, and he's going to be trying out a slightly new iteration on his 1,000 Suns. We are going to be playing out of the main rulebook. We're going to be playing Retrieval Mission. So we have 4 objectives. We have one on the central Firestorm Redoubt, a second on the trench system here to the right, third opposite and in the center, and the fourth one over here in the pipe system. The Black Templar were able to choose deployment zones. We're going to be on the opposite side of the table, pitched battle with the 1,000 Suns over here. You've seen the table. We will be right back with the armies. First up, we have the forces of the Black Templar arranged in a battalion. In the HQs, we have a captain with the Teeth of Terror and Rights of Battle. He is the warlord. We have an Emperor's Champion. Moving over into the elites, we have 3 aggressors with Flamestorm gauntlets, and they're going to be riding in a repulsor with all the DACA guns. We have 3 Vindicators for our heavy support. We have 3 Rhinos in our motor pool. And then for the infantry, we have 10 Assault Marines that have 3 plasma pistols and a power sword. We have 3 of the Inceptors with the Assault Bolters. And then we have 2 squads of 9 Crusaders. They have 2 power swords and a plasma gun each. And then we have 10 in the center here with a Melta-gun, multi-melta, and a sergeant with a power sword. And then over here, the mirrored of the other squad, 9 guys with a plasma gun and 2 power swords. Alright, so that is the Black Templar contribution. We will be right back with the 1,000 Suns.
Okay, so the 1,000 Suns are organized into a battalion. Our first HQ is an Exalted Sorcerer. He has the Warlord trait High Magister, and he is wearing the Helm of the Third Eye. Our second HQ is another Exalted Sorcerer, and he will be carrying the Dark Matter Crystal. My third and final HQ will be Armin, riding on his disc. Then in the troops, I have 2 squads of 15 Zangors with a Brayhorn in both squads, and 2 squads of 9 Rubrics. For their transports, they each have a Rhino to ride in. Then in the elites, I have a 6-man Scarab Occult Terminator squad with a Hellfire missile rack. In the fast, I have a squad of 5 Spawn, and rounding out the list, a pair of Forge Fiends with Hades autocannons.
Alright, you have seen the armies, and you have seen the table. We will be back as we get stuck into the Maelstrom. Deployment is complete. The 1,000 Suns were down 1 unit faster, so they're going to be going first, barring a seize from the Templar. Josh, walk us down your deployment here, sir.
So I used a command point to put one of the 15-man Zangor squads in the webway, and I am deep striking the 6-man Terminator squad. On my far left, I set the other 15-man squad up at the very edge of my deployment zone. And then further over in somewhat of a refused flank, I put the Spawn up front, the 2 Forge Fiends on the baseline, my 2 squads, and all 3 of my leaders on my very far right.
Alright, over on the opposite side, we have the Repulsor with the aggressors. In the center, we have our 3 Rhinos. Tactical squad is on the right. The squad closest to us has the Emperor's Champion. Squad in the back has the Captain. Then we have the Vindicator Linebreaker over here with the Assault Marines in support. So we are just playing the rules as they're written in the rulebook. So the 1,000 Suns are going first, barring a Black Templar seize. A 5. We thought about it, but we're not going to do it. So 1,000 Suns will have the first turn. We will be back once that is over.
Okay, so I moved in advance with the 15-man squad, and I moved in advance with the Spawn, and then I moved one of the Forge Fiends over to get within the envelope of Armin's reroll 1s. I got one of my Sorcerers out to cast Prescience on the Forge Fiend that stood still, and moved up both Rhinos a few inches and popped smoke. Then in the shooting phase, the demon engine with Prescience on it fired and knocked 4 points out of the Rhino.
Yeah, 7 hits, but the Rhino was a boss.
And then I played Blasphemous Machines and Demon Forge on the second one, and only 4 points of damage out of that one too.
Rhino held in there like a champion. He definitely put the damage through, but the Rhino did not yield. Alright, so that's it, right?
Yeah.
Alright, no first blood. Black Templar turn 1 coming up next. All right, Black Templar finish up turn 1, not too shabby of a shooting phase. We went ahead and got all of the Marines out here in the center to get ready for defense in whichever direction stuff came in from. We moved a Vindicator in this direction. We were able to heal the Rhino for 1 point. It moved up to block off line of sight here, and the Repulsor moved over to engage the spawn. We left one of the Vindicators stationary, the third one rolled to this flank, and we went ahead and dropped our Inceptors in. Assault Marines advanced. Between their fire, we were able to kill all but 2 of the Zangors with everything that was shooting on this flank. Vindicators came up pretty meh, didn't do a whole lot. We got 1 wound on 1 spawn, and that was it. So that's where we're at right now. We did burn 2 more points off of the Thousand Suns command point total, though, to keep the Zangors in the fight and prevent first blood. So that does leave them at 2 points. That's all the Black Templar can do. We attempted a charge here, needing an 8, failed it both times. So that's going to be it for turn 1. We will be back with the Thousand Suns.
Alright, so we're wrapped up to the assault phase at this point. Psychic phase was pretty atrocious. Armin cast Infernal Gaze on the Rhino here and got 1 wound out of it. Then he smited, and we got 1 wound out of the Repulsor. Then he cast Warp Time and moved the Rhino that still has a squad in it up a further 12 inches to get it a little deeper into the table. The Snake down here failed his prescience roll, the 1 power we needed this turn from him.
Yeah, and then Glamour down here, the Templars stopped.
The Templar burned their Deny the Witch stratagem and stopped Glamour on the Terminators, and then the Terminator Sorcerer blew himself up on a 12.
Oh, it's not funny, but it's gotta be funny. You gotta laugh. Oh, it killed the Sorcerer, it wounded one of his boys, and it killed 2 rubrics, right?
2 rubrics.
And then 2 more rubrics died. I cast an Auspex scan and I killed 1 with the Inceptors. Alright, carry on, sir.
And then the assault phase. Tried to charge the Inceptors. Long charge, but we had to come up with something. The Inceptors killed the wounded guy in the Terminator squad. Tried to charge the Inceptors with the Rubric squad and lost another guy.
And missed the charge by 1 inch, which makes it even worse. Yeah, just garbage. And then did cut down the majority of the Assault Marines, though. So, lost 6 of them to his Terminators. They put Vets of Long War on. Hellfire Racks here, both missed. And then cut down 6 of the Assault Marines. I went ahead and pulled all the Plasma and the Sergeant because I did not want to give him an easy charge there.
The Spawn tried to double lock, but didn't have the distance to grab the Crusade squad behind the building, but they did make it to the Rhino. And then the 2 survivors from the original Zangor squad made it into the Rhino. The Rhino down here attempted a long charge trying to lock down the Linebreaker bombardment, but failed his charge distance.
But did leave this Vindicator at 5 points. One of the Forge Fiends knocked 6 wounds out of it and finished this Rhino off for first blood. Alright, so we're ready for the assault phase, right? Alright, let's do this.
Assault phase rolls to an end and we did squat. The Spawn rolled 2 extra attacks for their special ability and then rolled 2 1s and a 3. With 11 attacks, we hit 3 times and did no wounds. Holy crap. Can I get a break here? Maybe?
Not yet, apparently. And then the Zangors.
Bolo, nothing. And then I'll lose a Zangor to the Rhino's attacks.
Oh, bad news bears, man. It just follows you. Proof that it's not the Templars. It's the player. Alright, well, Dice have to turn around sooner or later. He's been waiting 10 years, but maybe one day they'll turn around. Black Templar response coming up next. Alright, Black Templar have finished their turn. We went ahead and massed our infantry to fight against the Spawn and peeled our vehicles away. We were unfortunately not going to be able to get the Linebreaker bombardment off. We were a couple of inches out. So we just left these 2 Vindicators sitting. We swung the white one out this direction in an attempt to charge this Rhino. We knew the shooting wasn't going to do much, but we were unable to get that charge in. Did burn a command reroll, but weren't able to make it. The Repulsor has already made his charge move back into this Rhino. He did advance to here and target the Zangors initially and obliterated the entire squad. Big improvement over his first volley of shooting where he killed 1 Spawn, I think. The Assault Marines moved up to charge there, but everything was killed before then. They fired back here along with their brothers. The Bolt Pistols were able to bring down the last Zangor, and the Spawn went down to the a couple of bolter shots. The master-crafted bolter from the captain here in the back, and the melt-a-gun finished the last one off with its shot. The two Vindicators then fired down here. We brought down 3 of the Terminators with the first volley. Second Vindicator scored 2 wounds, but both of them were saved on the invul, so the last Terminator did stand. We attempted to charge him with the 4 Assault Marines, but were unable to make it. The Inceptors then fired here, cut down 3 of the Rubrics, and are going to be charging the last 2. So that was it for Black Templars. Had a pretty bloody turn. We're going to make this charge, and then we will be back. Alright, the Repulsor was able to ding the Rhino's paint job, took no damage in return, dealt 1 wound. Down here, nothing happened. The Inceptors were unable to damage their opponents, and they took 1 wound from the staff, but the guy did make his armor save. So we got a couple of morales down here. We're needing anything but a 6 on each check, right?
Yes.
Alright, so Terminators, good to go? Good to go. Nobody flees. Alright, Thousand Suns response coming up next.
So we're through the shooting and up to the assault phase. On my far left here, the lone Terminator fired his Hellfire missiles at the Vindicator and did nothing, and fired his Stormbolter at the Inceptors and knocked 1 wound.
You killed the 1 guy, yeah, that was wounded already.
And then the 2 remaining Rubrici down there did nothing. The Forged Fiends combined their fire on the Repulsor and knocked 4 wounds out of it total.
So, yeah, I think that's right.
No other damage went in on that from anything else. The Rubrics in the middle got a warp time from Armand, a prescience from the High Magister, and fired on the Bolter armed squad and managed to get 7 of the 10 of them in the shooting phase. And I think that was pretty much it for shooting.
And then you did 1 wound to this Vindicator with Armand's pistol. But yeah, that was it. Nothing
and then
else.
assault. The Terminator made his charge on the Inceptor.
Mm-hmm.
The High Magister made his charge on the White Vindicator. But before that, we declared a double charge with the Rhino on both tanks, just in the hope that we could soak up Overwatch for Armand to go into the Repulsor. In case we rolled low, we could still take the consolation prize of taking the Overwatch fire away so that the characters could beat the Vindicator to death. And the Vindicator rolled 2 attacks, 2 hits, 2 wounds, 11 damage, bang.
Yeah, no kidding. You're Vindicators, man. The only time they perform, but they do it well.
Seems like it's been kind of an all-day thing. But the Rubrics did make a charge into the Captain, and yep. Armand and the High Magister made it safely into the White Vindicator. So at least it wasn't a total loss.
Yep, did lose 1 Rubric on Overwatch to the Captain. Tons of stuff. Just Overwatch has been crazy. Alright, so we got some assaults to work, and then we will be back.
Alright, the assault phase winds down. The Terminator managed to wound the 1 Inceptor and didn't take anything in return. Armand managed to kill the Vindicator after the Warlord failed. The Rubric squad killed the Captain in combat and then consolidated into both of the Crusader squads, and they only managed to drag down 1 Rubric with all of their attacks.
Yep. Yuck. Alright, only hit about 7 times. So, looks like we are not Black Templars, we are Imperial Fists. So we're going to fall back, redress the line, and shoot. I think that's it, right?
Yep.
Alright, so unfortunately I have now bled Warlord as well. We will be back after the Black Templars respond. Alright, Black Templars have finished up their shooting phase. We went ahead and fell back. Nothing was going to happen there, and we didn't really have any way to get the Emperor's Champion in. So we went ahead and fell back out of combat. We charged with the Rhino and then with the Emperor's Champion. We fired the Vindicator here at them. We were only able to score 1 wound total and kill 1 of the Rubrics. This Vindicator then scored a hit and a wound on the Terminator. He failed his save and I rolled a 1. So he's still there with 1 wound. We did go ahead and lock him up with the Marines. The Inceptor Sergeant fell back, fired here, and did nothing. Then we moved the Repulsor back. He opened up with all of his guns here and cut down the Warlord. Armin took 4 wounds from the Flamestorm gauntlets, leaving him ripe for a charge. So we went ahead and put the 3 Sword Brothers in there. We're going to see if we can punch him down now. Alright, so we will be back after the assault phase. Black Templar assault phase was abysmal. We did get into combat here. Emperor's Champion wounded 1 time, and the guy made his 5-up invul, did nothing. In return, the staff sorcerer there poked me, fell the wound, and took 3 in return. So Emperor's Champion sitting at 1 wound. Over here, we wounded Armin 1 time. We hit him twice, rolled a 1 and a 3, and he made his invulnerable save and then squashed 2 of the aggressors. Not impressed. Down here we did at least get the Terminator that we should have gotten with the Vindicator. We killed him, consolidated into the rubrics, and then lost another Marine down here to his staff. So we are holding our own right now, holding the objectives, but getting schooled in the art of combat by these last few Thousand Sons. We will be back after the Thousand Sons respawn.
Okay, so we're up to assaults. The Forge Fiends moved up. It's getting late in the game. It's time to start advancing on some objectives. Since there's no one left to advance for us, we got to do it ourselves. They both moved up, fired. I think, had we not, what?
4.
4 wounds out of the repulsor?
Yep.
And then the front one managed to make an 8-inch charge through the Overwatch and lock it in combat. In the psychic phase, we failed all of our powers, the vast majority of which resulted in the explosive death of our characters.
You did get warp time there. I think that was it, though.
Yeah, that's it. Warp time was the only one. Armin failed his power on a double 6, blew his head off, killed the aggressor, wounded the Rhino, knocked a wound out of the repulsor. The squad sergeant in the middle failed his power on double 1s, killed the Emperor's Champion himself, 2 members of his squad, knocked some wounds out of the Rhino, and knocked 3 of the Crusader squad here in the trench down.
Yep.
And the guy down here failed his power on a 3.
Yep. Alright, so we're ready for the assault phase. We'll be back once that's finished.
Alright, assault phase is over. Down there, we killed the assault squad down to 1 guy. They killed the last regular rubric there, leaving just the squad sorcerer. In the middle, where everyone else failed and the Black Templar came up short, the Rhino crushed the remainder of the squad.
Yeah, no crap. Killed 2, and then the last guy ran away. Oh my gosh. So I think we're done there, right?
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, the absurdity has reached a point that none of us can handle anymore. That will be a Black Templar's victory. We will have after action review and army list at the blog as always. Be sure to give us a like on Facebook. Subscription on YouTube is the best way to see our new stuff. And make sure you hit the little bell to get notifications from our channel as we update. As always, guys, thanks for spending time with us today at the Maelstrom.